Before joining the Valorant protocol, what was each agent up to? Did they work? Have families? Well, in this video, I'll be going over what our agents did before joining. First up is Brimstone, who's the leader of the Valorant protocol, or VP for short. Brim held a couple different jobs before Valorant. He first started work as a firefighter in Baltimore, Maryland, with his best friend Tariq Porter. After that, both of them went on to serve in the military, where Brim led a group called the Ragged Ravens. Unfortunately, Tariq died while in the military. After that, Brim left to lead a private military group called KSEC for a company called Kingdom Corporation. He worked there until Valorant was founded and he became its leader. Next is Viper, who was second in command of the VP, and Omen, who was the third member to join the VP. Before Valorant, Viper was a chemist for Kingdom and was studying radianite after the world at large discovered it when First Light happened. However, Omen, who at the time of First Light was a normal human, was part of a group that didn't want the world to find out about radianite. So he was tasked with taking out Viper and her research. However, in self-defense, Viper trapped him in the radianite chamber she used for research, which caused Omen to get ripped apart. He was somehow stabilized, though, and was then recruited to the Valorant protocol. He had forgotten all of his memories until just recently when the map Abyss was released. Killjoy was a bit of a prodigy, and at the age of 18 was already promoted to the lead of research and development at Kingdom. She invented tons of different tech and gadgets that were used by Kingdom, but unknown to her, Kingdom would use some of these gadgets to harm others. In particular, someone Reyna is close to was hurt by these inventions of Killjoy. Of course, Killjoy didn't know her gadgets would be used for this purpose, but the damage has been done, and Reyna still blames KJ for it.
I remember the machines Killjoy made. What they did to... Never mind. It does not matter.
Once Brimstone was in Valorant, he recruited KJ to join. And before joining Valorant, Reyna was working to keep safe those who were hurt by Kingdom. Kingdom was found to have done experiments and research on Radiants in ways that left them hurt for life, one of whom may included her younger sister Lucia, who is critically ill. So, Reyna made a sanctuary for those who were hurt by Kingdom in the past, although this place is more akin to a city than a small little respite.
My city needs me. I can't be away for long. Let's end this quickly.
Cypher's life before Valorant is filled with sadness, so grab some tissues. He is from Morocco and is an information broker. He has a wife named Nora, and together they had a child. But Cypher's family is broken now. In Fade's dossier on Cypher, she says, "But no, too risky. The mask stays on. Because what's another year without Nora seeing your eyes, or sharing a smile with your little one?" So it seems that for some reason, Cypher is unable to see his wife and child. Some theorized that they have died based on this voice line when Sage reses him.
For a moment, I saw them.
But based on the way Fade talks about his family, it seems to me that they are alive, but he cannot see them. We don't know why he can't, but his anonymity has become of utmost importance to Cypher. Perhaps for their own safety he refuses to see them, or perhaps it's something else entirely. Sova grew up in Russia, and we know he has a close relationship to his grandmother. He honed his skills with his bow and arrow and earned himself the title of Phelan, brother of String and Steel. He was famed as the man who never missed a shot. However, Fate tells us that he has missed a shot. We don't know the details of what occurred when he missed his shot, but it's a burden Sova carries around. While we don't know too much about Sova's past, we do know that he at one point had an encounter with a Rift and his Omega Sova counterpart. We aren't sure if these events happened before or after he joined the VP, but I thought it was worth mentioning in case it did happen beforehand. Sage studied at a monastery in China for a while before joining the Valorant protocol. There, they taught her the tenets of balance, action, and reaction. And it's likely that while she was there, she also learned how to master her radiant abilities. She also was known to help the community with her powers, as she is called the Balm of Shaanxi, which is the province in China that she is from. Phoenix grew up in London, specifically in the district of Peckham. His talent for theater led him to attend a performing arts school there. However, whether intentional or not, it's implied that Phoenix burned down his old school and was then suspended. Some theories are that when First Light happened, Phoenix didn't know how to control his powers yet and accidentally set the place ablaze. Or maybe he just really hated his science course and set it on fire. We really don't know. Jett was a chef for a restaurant in Seoul, South Korea. However, her Omega counterpart came over to our Earth and tried to take Jett out while she was working. The altercation caused a large windstorm to come over Seoul, and ever since, Alpha Jett was blamed for the entire incident, even though she wasn't the one to do it. However, since the public on Alpha Earth don't know that a Mirrorverse exists, none of them believe it wasn't actually her. They saw Omega Jett cause a windstorm but thought it was Alpha Jett. From then on, she was shunned by those close to her, even though she was innocent. Raze is from Brazil, and in her home, the megacorporation called Kingdom had infested her city, as Raze calls it. She used her tinkering and love of art via spray paint to try and restore the culture that Kingdom was essentially erasing from her city. She would find Kingdom buildings and put her graffiti art on them. It's implied by Fade that her work did indeed help to remove some of Kingdom's facilities, as they are now abandoned but still show her art. Skye used to be a farmer in eastern Australia. One day, a rift showed up in the forest near her, right outside a Kingdom facility. This rift and Kingdom were destroying the natural flora and fauna all around her, and so she fought to protect the land. It seems that Skye continued to work to take down Kingdom facilities all over Australia to protect the wildlife. Fade lists her accomplishments as the Nimbin Project failure, the Blue Mountains Miracle, South Coast, San Rocks, Kangaroo Valley, on and on. She eventually joined Valorant when Sage showed her that these rifts were popping up all over the globe. The world at large needed her talents to help stop them, so she joined Valorant to aid that effort. Yoru's past is a little more obscure. We know he grew up in Tokyo, Japan, and his clothing is reminiscent of a modern-day Japanese street punk. While we don't know too much of his past, we do know what he was doing right before he was recruited. He was on a mission to find out more about his ancestors, who were samurai during the Edo period in Japan. In his quest to find out more about them and their secrets, he searched several Kingdom facilities all over the world. He eventually found the facility on Icebox, where he used his radiant abilities to explore the old Japanese warship that washed up on the snowy tundra long ago. In Kingdom's excavation of the ship, they found a samurai mask that was filled with radianite. He then broke into the facility to steal the mask, after which the Valorant Protocol found him and recruited him to their team. However, Yoru's mission to find his lost ancestor is still underway, as we heard from this voicemail.
Brimstone. Something happened at S-22. I was walking the warship again when I felt something different. The dimensional fabric was weaker there, older. I could feel seams that someone left a long time ago. And then I fell into a space that wasn't just A to B. It felt more like now to then. I pushed forward as far as I could. And Brimstone. I heard someone calling to me. I didn't have time to answer before the rift closed. But I swear to you, I knew her voice.
Breach was part of a crime family in Sweden. When they all got caught and were being sentenced before the judge had pity on Breach because he's a congenital amputee, meaning he was born without arms. So the judge gave him a much lesser punishment and let him go. However, even being born that way, it did not stop Breach from being a full member of this crime family, and he took offense at the judge's pity toward him. In an attempt to show the judge how wrong they were about him, he began to involve himself in even more crimes and trouble. This caused the police to begin to chase after him again, which is when he was recruited to Valorant. This is why we don't often see Breach go out of base for vacations and trips, because he's being looked for by the Swedish police. So whose life before Valorant is the most interesting to you? Let me know down below, and be sure to subscribe so you know when part 2 goes live with the rest of the agents' lives before Valorant. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Bye!